Hello, Internet, and welcome to the Tech Off Topic podcast, the place where the Internet goes a little bit weird and I get trolled like an absolute MF-ucker. That's me attempting to mute myself. It's not going to last. So, this is the last edition of this year. Boo. However, it means in the last minute, I have managed to drag people into having a conversation with me. Yes. We do not have a Jim this time, but we do have somebody else who happens to be a grumpy old man from Birmingham, who once again has also once upon a time worked for Jump 24 and works for Jump 24 again. Say hello to everybody.
Hello. So yes, I went back to Jump 24.
I think one of my co-hosts must officially have been at Jump 24.
Yeah, it's now the rules. So I'm working on getting Dan in.
So, do you want to just give you a quick introduction of yourself before I drag in our other guest for this randomness?
Yeah, so I've actually been on this before. I don't know if you remember, but
I remember as a boot camper, but that was a long time ago.
It was. So yes, my tech story started 22 years ago with working in the industry. But if we want to go back even further, 1983 was when I had my first computer. And since then, I discovered the internet and haven't left it. And just sort of live in a corner of the internet and occasionally sort of peek over the top and go, everybody okay? And go back to the weather.
Well, there is also, well, to be fair, usually that corner of the internet is called Trolley. So
I thought it was called Twitter today.
Well, that is a topic of conversation for us. So that's going to be interesting. Oh, crud. I forgot that you have opinions there and they are strong. Okay, right. Time to drag in our third, because if I'm number one, Chris number two, and this is number three, somebody who has also been around these streams and has also met me in the past a long time ago. Say hello.
Hello.
And the rest.
All right. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Yeah.
You are?
I am Steve. I have, I'm a streamer. Sociable Steve, if you want to come and find me. I've been around, started my career, 21 years-ish ago? So I've been around a while. And
God, I'm the youngster here.
You are the youngster, the youth of the group.
That's not a comment I'm used to saying, by the way. But okay, so this is Stephen Good, who happens to be a, if I remember correctly, principal. Was it lead engineer?
Nope, engineering manager.
Oh, you've become an engineering manager. Oh,
I've been an EM for years now.
Really? How the hell can you still code?
Because I make sure I do streaming sometimes.
I thought you flew planes when you streamed.
Oh, yeah, sometimes. Well, only a couple of times. But, yeah, still doing the coding.
Okay. Steve is also a member of The Claw, a Twitch stream, which, as far as I can tell, is a bunch of chaotic humans doing chaotic things on the internet.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Just pure chaos. I mean, you're in The Claw, so that says it all.
Yes, but I'm the literal personification of chaos when it comes to technology.
Yeah, and we still let you in.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. So, as the title of this podcast/stream is, it's Tech Off Topic. Do we have a topic to start with, or shall we steal from the list of awkwardly but sometimes funny list that we have?
Should we start with the one I'd already started, which is Twitter?
Right, which part of it? Because the one I've got in there is absolutely bloody hilarious.
Well, we can start with that. I mean,
okay.
If you let me get started, this will be the entire 90 minutes.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that. So, yeah. Okay, let's go. Right. So, the latest piece of news, I think it was as of like 3 or 4 days ago, comicbook.com reported that MySpace's Tom, everybody's first online friend, well, everybody's first online friend if you're over the age of 25 anyway, really wants to take over Twitter from Elon Musk after the diabolical attempt at a poll for leadership control of Twitter. How do we feel about that? Because I think everybody needs their first friend back, and we all know what his profile picture is going to be.
Well, I think it's absolutely brilliant that the first comment that Elon put was, "Who are you?"
Was that the first comment?
He deleted it afterwards, but that was his first comment when he realized who it was.
Oh my good gravy.
And now Elon is interested in this conversation. I mean, to be fair, I think he's just interested in getting rid of this $44 billion debt that he gained.
I think he is seriously regretting it at the moment.
Well, part of me saying no, because the man has definitely got some form of megalomaniac level nuttiness where it's like, I now literally control one of the primary streams of information. Mwahahaha. Something about that feels very Elon Musk with his, his giant space penis.
Yeah, but I can imagine he bought it thinking that everybody was going to love everything that he did. And now everybody hates everything that he's done.
The problem is, I'm actually quite indifferent. Other than firing people from Twitter, I'm quite indifferent to it because whoever's in control, it's always been a little bit of a shit show.
But that's just Twitter anyway. That's got nothing to do with the company. It's just the fact that people can say what they want in a very concise way, which results in some really stupid tweets.
Or with absolute lack of context, which, as you said, leads to some very choice commentary.
And also the fact that you can then dig them up from like 10 years ago.
Yes.
Actually, I love this, actually. So the reason we now have James Gunn as the head of a studio department for DC Warner Brothers is because he got a 10-year-old tweet dug up and got canned by Disney for Marvel about 4 years ago. So James Gunn lost the gig for running Guardians of the Galaxy because of I think it was a sexist comment said many, many moons ago where he had apologized within weeks of that tweet going out back when social media was a lot slower. And he got canned for it because it got dragged up. Because of that, he then got taken away and did Suicide Squad, got brought back to do the third Guardians of the Galaxy, but couldn't complete his contract, and is now the head of a DC studio when he was a Marvel golden boy coming from being a giant comic book nerd.
Yeah.
So Twitter can do some things well then.
You say that, but we've now officially lost Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson from the DCEU. He got canned from being Black Adam and all future projects. Somebody fired The Rock.
How did that conversation go?
I know how. Who was going to be brave enough to like square up to and go, "Sorry, mate. You need to find a new job."
But then to do that and Henry Cavill twice.
I think we can officially state James Gunn has rather large cojones.
I mean,
I have a feeling Steve has an opinion.
No opinions really. It's amazing how much Twitter changes everything. For something that somebody said, a decade ago.
You got to just love the fact that like we are literally living in the digital version of that really shit movie, The Butterfly Effect. Or Final Destination, take your pick.
Well, it's also very much like people going through a text conversation between people and going, that text there, look what you said, without any of the rest of the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like someone saying, when you were 13, you did and said this thing, and now it's affecting you when you're 50. It's like, at what point do people stop digging stuff up from the past?
Considering
still
people
waiting
make
for
careers
some-
out of digging shit up.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand it for some positions and some things it's worth digging up. But at some point, the most innocuous comments just have to be forgotten.
Okay. I would love to disagree because I found out on the literally just beforehand that the report is finally out for the January 6th riots. And officially, Trump is the official person to blame. We all knew he was involved in it, but nobody ever thought he'd be officially blamed for the whole bloody thing. They thought it'd be like Trump and X and Y and maybe through weird scenarios. But no, he's officially to blame for it. We all saw that coming because of how many months of psychobabble weird crap coming out from his social media before he got banned.
But then if you compare that against what Elon has been saying, and we all know Elon's perfectly fine with explaining his opinions, you look at what Elon has been saying, and he says that Twitter should never have banned him because he didn't break any rules.
Inciting hate is literally against the rules.
But he's saying that the actual tweets were never against the rules. The context of it all together, but the individual tweets should never have reached him being banned.
And this is where the lack of context kicks in again. So each tweet with its lack of context doesn't break the rule, but when you take them all in context.
Have either of you been reading the Twitter files that have been shared?
No.
So Elon and varying other high-end people in Twitter have been sharing what they call the Twitter files. Just search hashtag Twitter files and you'll see them. There's 6 of them so far. Everything from they influenced the election decision that made Trump lose, to Trump shouldn't have been removed from Twitter, to varying other things around how the FBI have been influenced by Twitter and Twitter has been controlled by the FBI. And all of this, of course, has been solved by Elon being in charge.
Hang on. Why does this sound like somebody with a bunch of random newspaper clippings and a lot of wool?
No, this is somebody with a bunch of random Slack clippings and a lot of wool. He's been posting Slack posts between people in the company to prove his point.
All right, I'm not going to lie. How much shit posting in Slack do you two make on a day during work? And random contextless statements.
It depends who I'm talking to. If it's Jim, pretty much every day.
Yeah, probably not as much as I used to. I should get back into that.
I was about to say, at work, at the corporate I have, we do have some shit posting channels where I have actively said some weird stuff. And this is me saying it's weird.
Just be glad that you don't work for Twitter, because it would have become a Twitter file.
I also did. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like the idea of it being called the Twitter file. It's like I'm just waiting for David Duchovny to break out.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Oh god.
I'm actually surprised he's not had an opinion on this, because he at one point was really, really active on Twitter.
This is true. However, as far as I know, David Duchovny has also disappeared slowly from the internet.
I didn't know he had. I knew he'd been quiet.
I've just got to love that. Dr. D just saying Mike is very, very weird. From the sounds of it, that means I am a Twitter file.
There's a file just for you.
I don't like that. Considering I have made some very odd faces on the internet, that's never a good thing.
There's a Twitch file and a Twitter file just for you, Mike.
Oh god, that's wholly terrifying. Right.
See, on Twitter, I asked a question the other day. Does anybody think that the app is quicker? I don't mean the content in it or anything like that, but just the app. I only had one reply, and that person said no, because everything's broken. Now, I wasn't sure whether to argue back and say, but that means it's quicker because you're just getting the responses quicker. They're broken, but
Weirdly enough, I actually here's the weird thing. I saw that tweet because you posted it on like Monday or something, Tuesday. I saw it on Thursday because Twitter's timeline not being flipping timely anymore is really, really annoying. It's like, how do you like a timeline where it's showing you posts from 17 hours ago? I'm going to say the weirdest thing ever. I actually think the Twitter app is now performant. Just all the things that provide the data are absolutely fucked. Like one of the engineers who couldn't be fired because of the fact that he's on a visa or something has done some really good work and is now stuck with a bunch of shit semi-functional microservices.
I mean, has Elon Musk completely misunderstood the idea of scream testing? Has he just turned it off in the hopes that everybody does scream?
Hang on. That sounds like a Trump thing. We don't get COVID if we don't test for it.
You do know what scream testing is, right?
Turning it on the screen, seeing if it works.
No. You have an item. You turn it off and you listen for people screaming in the background.
Scream testing. I thought you said screen.
No, scream with an M.
Oh.
I think he's just gone and switched them all off and gone, yep, these are fine because everybody's screaming about it.
Oh, that is terrifying. And just to add to the troll levels.
Yep. When you sketch a turn up.
We just should have figured. There's me and you in a room. Sketch is going to be there.
Yep.
Sketch is lovely, but also unhinged.
Why is he not in here then?
They are hidden away in the deepest, darkest parts of Northern Ireland, and as far as I can tell, don't like people.
Right. Is that not just the rest of us as well?
Yeah.
Apart from the Northern Ireland bit?
Right. Has anyone else got a nail to stab into Elon's coffin, or do we go on to another topic?
I mean, we could go on to the other topic you've got, which is public view counts.
Oh, bollocks. I forgot to put that one in. But and I'm not going to lie. I have. I don't like that at all. Like, I don't post on social media for the love of people going and actively engaging my shit. I post on Twitter for shit posting reasons and because my job demands me to advertise the stuff I have done. I advertise it. Work sees I've made a tweet. I don't care how many people have looked at it, liked it, retweeted it, poked me in the face with it.
See, I think it's actually brilliant.
When was the last time you saw a page counter on a website and didn't go, that's cheap and nasty?
But the difference is, on Twitter, you end up with people who go, you know, like Trump, everybody saw my tweets. It was amazing. Everybody liked it. And you go, no, they didn't, mate. You've got 3 people that looked. You can literally use that to point out that people are talking complete bollocks.
Oh, like, how active is your echo chamber? Very.
Yeah, but the reason Elon wants to put them on is to show off how active Twitter is, not to show how active particular parts of Twitter are.
Yeah, to show how active Twitter is, why don't you just have an active number, like active user number, like most other companies register active users, people who interact in the last 30 minutes. Putting a counter on tweets is just what is it? It's like people who my GitHub repo is the most popular one on the planet. It's got 50 billion stars.
You know what it's going to show is people with more followers get more people looking at their tweets.
There is a literal direct correlation.
That would be very strange if that happened.
I also like the fact that he says people are seeing them 10 times more than people who are interacting, and it's like,
That
yeah,
90% of people don't care.
I wonder if I can artificially inflate it by just continuously refreshing the page.
See, I think that's what's happening because of how screwed the news feed is. That tweet is always appearing in the top 2 or 3, so every time you see it,
Oh, for God's sakes. Because we've got a remark from the mod of all mods. You know, like the buggy random visitor counters we had back in the 90s. And I'm just like, yeah, can we just like collectively pick some like a Will Wheaton positive good tweet and just have the entire world like, you must refresh this page 1,000 times and just watch as the angry people of the internet explode.
Just imagine a botnet that's just constantly loading that tweet.
That is both brilliant and terrible.
and now I feel like I need to write this thing.
This is not a virus. This is a botnet for good. Please allow it. Or just randomly like, I have several $1,000 of Amazon credit. What can I do with it? It's not like Twitter have the security team to stop you fecking around like that anymore.
Well, you can imagine there's going to be companies in like a year who like pay us $10,000 and we'll get your tweet up to the top.
I mean, to be fair, if we actually wait a bit with Twitter, we might well get all of their passwords anyway with the LastPass leak.
Oh.
Ironically, segueing into a topic that is in the sheet, because this one hurts my soul so much. Because, like, all right, so everybody on the internet by now is aware of the LastPass leak. And the initial one, which is we've had our source code stolen. Don't worry, you're not compromised. Shit. And last week it's been revealed that is it last week or yesterday?
Today.
Is it today? Because I was reading it this morning. I didn't realize the news was actually today. Jesus. That it's not just their source code, it was their data structures and their encryption keys, aka everything you need to look at the data.
Wait a second. It was the keys as well.
I believe it was the keys as well. I've got the Ars Technica article here.
It's the keys as well, but they're saying that you can't unencrypt anything without your password because they use that as one of the keys.
So brute force, like all right, let's put it this way. All you need is a really big rainbow table and you will be able to work out that encryption key somewhere.
Yes.
Well, if they're using the password, the master password, then you can limit down your scope anyway, because you have to have lowercase, uppercase, number, symbol, and 10 characters.
Yeah.
Well, now you've just got rid of everything up to 9 characters, everything that doesn't have an uppercase and lowercase and all the rest of it. You can probably get the password in a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even supercomputer level calculations anymore. I'm going to leave it on an old laptop for a few days and just putter off.
Yeah.
The other thing to remember is there's so many leaked passwords on the internet now. All they need to do is try one of your passwords and see if it's your master password.
Oh, Christ almighty, yeah. Because I'm not going to lie, I haven't got... So I use OnePass and have done for years. So when they get leaked, I am truly fecked. But for now, I'm good.
This is why you need a different master password than any other password.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's only been the last, like... I've been using LastPass... Well, not LastPass. I've been using OnePass for about 3 or 4 years now. And I've only just got around to clearing out all the Watchtower notifications. So OnePass has this service called Watchtower, which tells you if you've had a leaked password or where you've used the same password in multiple locations. Taken a while for me to finally clear out that. I think it was like 90 notifications I had from it. I am a terrible human, I am aware. And it's been even less time. It's only been a little bit longer that I changed the password that is the master password to my OnePass, because my master password was being reused previously.
So is your master password now whatever that password was with 1 on the end?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I have used the number 1 in that password. I will not tell you where, but it does exist.
So that's a yes then.
But yeah. So right? I'm not gonna lie. We've all been around the internet long enough. Password leaks are not a new thing. Like Microsoft's had it, LinkedIn's had it, blah 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 blah. And LastPass was not a huge company, so at some point, a company of that size, 1Pass, they're going to get fecked. It's impossible to be 100% secure 100% of the time. What do you think this actually means for the people of the internet that rely on their service and the effect it's going to have on the other services? Because I'm a little paranoid that the reason I like 1Pass is the fact that it provides a very usable service in many places.
There's actually a horrifying thought that if they have got the keys as well, then that set of data and the decryption process gives you enough data to work out the encryption process for other services.
Oh boy. Ooh, that's not good. It could be worse though.
How?
Right. Do you not remember the time that Sony had their leak and it was all plain text passwords?
No.
I remember hearing about several instances of companies doing that, big companies doing that.
And this is Sony, huge megacorp level company. TalkTalk did that. Jesus, Mother of Mary. And even the little British guys have managed to fuck it with a plain text password.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we have also had Southstaff's Water with their plain text banking details.
Pardon me, what?
Southstaff's Water have been hacked, and every person over the past 7 years that has used a direct debit has now had their banking details compromised.
That's terrifying. Right. To be fair, I will admit I'm from Staffordshire and everything is a little bit slower up there. For those of you on the internet, Staffordshire is the most green, boring part of the UK.
I am also from Staffordshire. I can confirm this.
I'm just watching Steve's face as looking. Is it really the most boring but green bit?
I was trying to think if there's any other boring green bits.
Well, no, because all the other green bits have got lovely things in there, like the Lake District. It's green. It's got lovely hills. There's literally nothing in Staffordshire beyond.
There's Cannock Chase.
Nothing in it.
Only people from the West Midlands know what Cannock Chase is.
I disagree.
Well, that and the Doggers of the world. Sorry, local reference. One, Google what dogging is, ladies and gentlemen.
Google what
not on a work machine.
Not on a work machine. NSFW. But it's local knowledge is the famous football player Stan Collymore, when he was playing for Wolverhampton Wanderers back in the very early 2000s, was caught doing said act about 15 minutes away from his mansion at the edge of Cannock Chase. In Cannock Chase. I am a local lad, and I am not ashamed of the weird shit that happens.
And once you've done all that, you can also Google all of the other fun things that happen on Cannock Chase.
I mean, weird shit happens everywhere. It's not limited to your area.
Oh God, yeah, that is true. I suppose that you're from north, so there's plenty of weird stuff up north. Actually, no, you're not true north. You're Manchester, aren't you?
Leeds.
Okay, that's slightly more north, but still not the true north.
It's about half a mile further north. It just happens to be further east.
Yeah, but but you're far enough. There's an entire county between you and the Scotland.
That's true. Yep.
If we want the northerner, that's in the chat. That's Dr. D, where things really get weird.
Dr. D's further south than I am.
Is he? I thought
He's
it was
in Sheffield.
I thought Sheffield was above Leeds.
Sheffield's in South Yorkshire.
Oh, balls. I don't know my geography. Oh my God. Please, Dr. D, tell me that is not a work machine you are making these this comments on. FYI, I'm also using my work computer because my personal one is currently updating to Ventura. Shit. Gotta love you. Turn it on. It's like, oh crap, the update's automatically happening. Balls. Right. I think we've. Or unless anybody else has a comment on passwords leaking and other weird shizzle. All right. One of you two could pick the next topic then. I've put them all in there. You can pick one.
Well, there's, 3 left?
I'm pretty sure we can go weird as well. Or ranty.
If you want to go weird, we could just look at TikTok. Not necessarily that topic, just TikTok in general.
No, I'm not looking at TikTok because as far as I can tell, it's the Gen Z Reddit where things... 1, it's a rabbit hole. 2, it's where your brain goes to die.
Well, at the moment, TikTok has this thing that Britney Spears is not actually free, and their proof, their proof comes in the form of taking screenshots from badly filmed videos and arguing that these screenshots show that it's been green screened because it's pixelated. That's their entire argument.
So their entire argument is based upon poor upscaling.
Yep.
So do they not believe the 80s exists? Because that was quite pixelated on TV.
No. The 80s is probably green screened.
To be fair, with that hair.
There is also a huge flat Earth movement on TikTok, which I find hilarious.
I think we can officially state, ladies and gentlemen, we have entered our conspiracy theory stage of the podcast.
Yes, some of the flat Earth theories are hilarious. We have had people using the spirit level to prove that the Earth is flat.
What?
Yep.
Is the spirit level about 200 miles long? Because then I might believe them.
It's about this big.
Yeah. Oh. Do they not understand the curvature and the size of the Earth?
No. The Earth isn't curved.
For the love of God, Dr. D is now given the best response comment to that.
Yep, that's the one.
Somebody took a spirit level on the plane to prove that the Earth is flat.
Because the planes are known for just rolling up and down all the time.
See, my personal opinion is the Earth is in fact flat. I have no problem with this. What I do have a problem with is how have they managed to convince every single scientist and every single air pilot to agree with the fact that the Earth is round and to stick to that. When if we go back to the Watergate scandal, it took a week before 2 people cracked.
Sheeple?
So we're going back to Twitter then.
I love a good callback joke. Oh, Jesus Christ. But unfortunately, so I have been in Canada with my better half, which is, I'm not going to lie, the area is called Alberta, and it is pretty fucking flat. Like, literally, you can stand on one part of it. There's no fucking hills, and I swear to God, you can see about 200 miles without any interruption.
So, like Norfolk?
Or Lincolnshire, where the only thing there is Boston on a hill. You stand in Boston, I can see all of Lincolnshire, and all the land shall be mine. This child, you will rule it all as far as your eye can see. And the greatest thing is they have a highway called the QE2. And you drive down half of it. The QE2, they need to rename that because there's no longer a Queen Lizzie. There is, unfortunately, a sign the size of a truck trailer that reads about flat earthers and their movement because they believe that because Alberta is so flat, the world is flat. We just happen to have mountains and obstructions in the way. How small town do you have to be for your worldview to be because of the things that you can't see beyond your line of sight?
About the size of Boston.
Oh. I have no valid. Come back to that. Bugger. But it's just how do people who've got such small town, weirdly like localized views, how these views to be so true against an internet full of random shit and science and random shit made from science?
Because the scientists are lying.
Oh God.
All of them.
Yes.
All of them all the time.
All.
I mean,
Yep.
the moon landing was completely faked. Obviously, because the flag wiggled a bit.
Mm.
It has
was
nothing to
obviously
do with the
fake
fact that the
'cause the-
person was handling it.
It's obviously fake because the moon is made of chains, grommet.
And don't forget
Oh.
climate change. Climate change is fake.
To be fair, up until I was in my late teens, I did think climate change was bullshit because I remember the only real proof of climate change was a hole in the ozone above Australia, and just went, Australia's out to kill you anyway. How the hell do you tell the difference? Unfortunately, a few years later, I went, hang on, where the hell did my winter go? It now just becomes wet and miserable in England with 2 days of bloody snow.
Well, don't forget, in the past 6 months in this country, we've gone from over 40 degrees to probably minus 10 in some places.
I'm quite aware it's minus 10. My flat does not have central heating, and the timers, and I don't have timers on the heating in my flat. I've woken up to ice.
Ooh. Jesus, that's cold.
I made some poor choices in life. One of them is this apartment. But yeah, like you're right. Like it's not normal that like 100 years ago we had distinct seasons with 2 months of snow in like lowland parts of England across December and January. Most people above the age of 50 had white Christmases repeatedly.
Well, 250 years ago, they were having markets on the ice on the River Thames.
Yeah.
They didn't have white Christmases. They may have had snow and ice around Christmas, but it was exceedingly rare for snow to fall on Christmas Day.
Yes, but people above the age of 50 probably had it more than we have, because as far as I can tell, in the 35 years of my life, it's happened once.
I'm pretty sure.
And I think it was like
common.
2001, there was random snow on Christmas Day that didn't even bloody stick.
Yeah. I seem to think that white Christmases were not that common.
No.
I feel like snow is like January, February time always. But I think more than once in 35 years, maybe, but probably not as much as people think.
Oh, God. Sketch has got one of the best comment jokes I've ever. NASA hired Stanley Kubrick to fake the moon landing, but because of his attention to detail, they filmed it on location.
This is true.
That is brilliant.
This also reminds me of the other one, that it was completely CGI. Have you seen computer graphics in PlayStation 1 era? If NASA could fake it that well in the 60s, what the fuck happened in between?
Hey, don't say this. I flipping love Tron and the terrible CGI that's done that.
It's because of all the alien hardware that NASA has. They could do it.
Ah, but where did they get that from? Because they hadn't been to the moon.
Well, Roswell, mate.
Yeah.
Have you not
True.
seen Independence
True.
Day?
No, I was more interested in X-Files.
Pseudo callback joke. Oh, mother of pearl. I hate the fact I have to call this out because people on Twitch have actively pointed out that I cannot make a callback joke. Turns out I'm not actually that funny. And this
I
is
think we've been saying that for ages, mate.
ouch, Steve. Ouch. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But okay, did you find out your fact, Chris? I want to check if I've been fact checked or not.
No, can't find it. There is a table somewhere that says when it was. I am pretty sure it was pretty rare, even beforehand.
Okay, but yeah, so TikTok is now the home of conspiracy theories. So who needs 4chan and the dark web?
Sorry, 4chan? Is that even still a thing?
I'm pretty sure 4chan is still a thing,
Is it?
or at least the
I've got-
community from 4chan still exists.
I thought 4chan.
4chan, the website, still exists.
Really? Good grief.
It's now being reduced to entirely just a message board. There's none the extra blasting into the universe thing. Oh,
See, I'm old enough to remember conspiracy theories in the time of BBS boards that were run on Telnet.
all the words you say, I have heard from people.
Yeah.
Have I
know
ever
these wo-
done them?
I-
No.
I know
So-
these concepts.
Yes, Telnet was basically the web in text form. It was designed to be about as shit as it could be. And you you
How
loaded
do
up
we
the
precursor the internet? We make one that's clearly meant to be kind of shit.
That's literally what it was. It was designed to be terrible. But it made for some great finds on there because you could crawl through these things using people had written bots in Bash that logged into these Telnet servers and just crawled through looking for keywords. And some of the conspiracy theories back then, I mean, the idea that the royal family are all lizards started on Telnet.
Hang on. The root cause of the Zuckerberg conspiracy theories started on Telnet about the Queen.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
I don't know why, but I flipping love that. I flipping love that. Considering that then became an entire plot line for blooming Doctor Who as well. But we'll change the lizard people for werewolves. And Scotland.
I strongly believe somebody somewhere will believe that that's also true.
Give me about 20 years and it's going to be fact.
Yeah.
It's not going to be fiction anymore.
Hang on, I do actually like this principle of science fiction becoming science fact. But that's purely because like technology has had this weird route for the last, I think it's like 20 years, where we've started producing things that were made from retro futuristic sci-fi and the early stages of Star Trek, etc. And we've actually started making them a thing. So I think it was somebody was telling me that the original designs for the mobile phone from like Ericsson, etc., were based upon communicators from Star Trek.
Flip phones. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the moment they got beyond the candy bar and they started adding the like 90s front flippy bit was because of that.
Talking of phones, why the hell have we gone backwards? We've got to the point that we went away from flip phones because they were terrible. So Samsung are now selling their top phone as foldable.
Actually, no, it's not even their top
thing.
phone. It's not even their top phone. You look at the specs that's inside, it's a mediocre phone, just with a foldy screen.
Which is why they can charge $1,000 for it and nothing to do with the Samsung logo.
Hang on. Did you ever have like a Razr Flip or one of those fancy early noughties phones?
My biggest claim to fame is that on the bus journey home between the Carphone warehouse in Cannock and Burntwood, I hacked the Google One and put the source code up on the web.
From what?
The phone itself. The Google G1, the very first smartphone that Google released.
ladies and gentlemen, I've had my first bit of YouTube spam. Fantastic.
Amazing.
That's grand. That is. Right, I'm just going to actively delete those comments whilst I'm at it. Anyway, I'm not going to lie, Chris, you're a complete nerd.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, you say like that, it's a bad thing.
Well, yes.
Oh,
There
but it's
can't.
not.
There cannot be more than one of us at any one time in the same space.
Well, you better leave then, Mike.
Have we just evicted Mike from his own podcast?
Well, he's the one that set the rule.
Sweet.
So that's it. Does now. That's it. And Dr. D agrees with us. He says, like, choose your words
Yeah.
carefully, Mike. So, perfect.
Cool.
Right.
I
Just so that
spoke
I can stop you two having some weird, awkward silence whilst you try and come up with new trolly responses whilst I'm not in the room, I'll put myself back in the room.
We were fine, mate. We were carrying on.
Unfortunately, Chris, I am exceedingly, as Steffi has pointed out, very, very used to being trolled on Twitch. Unfortunately, by Steve, so I've got a
Yep.
hard skin.
Yeah, and you still invited me here, so
True.
mainly because I
but-
said, "Are you going to invite me?"
Actually, that is true. Okay. All right.
I
so
seem to remember there being tweets that basically said, anybody free? And I said yes. And it's like,
I
and
also
now
tried convincing your boss to come on, but it turns out he is not as brave as he is at the pub.
no.
Nobody
this
is.
true.
Dan
Nobody.
is actually really, really smart, really, really funny, and quite chatty in person. But he is terrified of talking live on the internet.
Well, seeing as how we started this conversation with anything you say on the internet stays on the internet and follows you around forever, it's not really a surprise.
Mans has a point.
Although, is part of this the fact that we haven't yet mastered subtitles for the Welsh accent?
We need stronger AIs for that.
If Alexa can't work with the Welsh and Scottish accents, AI will never catch up. I do love that. You just listen. Have you ever watched the videos of people from strange, more obscure locations trying to use Google Home or Amazon? And I'm going to turn mine off a bit next to me. Alexa device. And just like Newfoundland people from Northern Canada and like Scottish, Welsh. I think they had issues with people with very thick Spanish accents as well at one point, which is ironic considering I'm pretty sure it's built by a lot of people from Spanish backgrounds in America.
None of this surprises me. There's times when I go and say, ask it what time it is or set an alarm, and it's like, oh, it's 12 degrees outside. It's like, that's not what I asked, but thanks for letting me know.
You have quite a neutral accent, my dude.
I know.
I mean, I asked mine once to turn off the lights. I'm sorry, we couldn't find the radiator. What? How do you get from lights to radiator?
It's just, yeah. So we can't really be surprised that strong accents give it even more problems.
I mean, I think that what has happened with these in-home devices is it's just a really, really, really long if statement.
You've just got some poor chap in the background just like, oh, this is written in Erlang. We're actively shipping each if statement as somebody randomly asks a new one. And if you're asking something that's too far down the queue, you're all balked.
Just a huge office filled with people who are just listening to the questions and just writing if statements as fast as they can.
Actually, because of Tom Scott, I now know that that's an actual thing. So the US postal system has they've tried automating all of their post, OCR scanners for reading like postal addresses. It makes legit sense. But they have an office of people who literally go in and essentially add if statements for when they can't read the handwriting.
Oh, God, Lord.
They have special keyboards to do it as fast as possible, so the mail can still be processed on site.
It's like 350 million in the States. You can imagine there's quite a lot of different handwriting.
Yeah,
Obviously, that's not going to work.
It's fascinating. It's genius. It's like, oh, so they have, I think it's one facility in somewhere like bloody Utah, literally boring nothing land, where they literally have a person just making an extra if statement for weird post.
But we have AI that is as capable as ChatGPT. Yes, it has its problems.
Do you mean the licensing problems?
Those as well. But primarily the fact that you can also fool it into telling you literally anything just by saying act as an AI with no restrictions. But you have ChatGPT over on one end. And on the other end, we have OCR that can't work out a zip code.
Mm-hmm.
How?
You can imagine if there's this huge facility doing all this, they've got mountains of data they could train something on as well.
Yeah. And it's self thinking as well, self-training, because it's obviously receiving more data on a daily basis. In both cases, ChatGPT, because it's an active crawler as well, if I remember correctly. So it's actively consuming more information. And, well, I'm pretty sure we're not going to stop sending posts soon.
Have you seen Royal Mail lately?
Well,
that's not us stopping sending posts. That's them stopping delivering it.
Yeah, but if they carry on like that, how many more letters are you going to send?
Well, I did have a giant argument with Every, FYI for everybody. Every is a private postal company in the UK, trying to send 6 cans of beer to my mate as a Christmas present. Turns out you can't send liquid in Every. The only place you can send liquid is the Royal Mail.
Oh God,
or you could have put it in a freezer.
Like a what?
You could have frozen it and sent it that way. Well, it would have been liquid when they got it.
It was a solid when you shipped it. It's not your fault that Every took so long it melted.
That is... I hate the fact that's a valid hack, but no, I'm a beer nerd. I'm not going to ruin good beer by freezing it.
But it would be hilarious to try. Your rules do not state we can't send solids.
Oh, I wonder if you could freeze dry beer and send it that way. Just add water.
That reminds me of the spam post that did the rounds on Facebook a while back. Somebody found a tin that was perfectly set up for you to be able to take off the cover. It was a really old tin. So you end up taking out the cover of the tin with Photoshop and putting your new one on. And somebody made one look absolutely perfect, as if it was a World War II and of freeze-dried water.
Freeze-dried water.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yep.
Oh, for the love of all things.
This can contains 2 gallons of water. Just add 2 gallons of water.
I'm pretty sure that's how every bottle of water sold by the Coke company works.
God,
we'll just add the tap water back in.
Well, yeah, well, that's what it was eventually, wasn't it? In this country, it was just tap water.
Yeah, it's the reason Dasani left the UK after, once again, Tom Scott teaching me this. They had a facility down, I think it was in Norwich, which was bottling it for the entire country. And it turns out it wasn't mineral water. They were using tap water and adding additives to it.
This reminds me of an episode of Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, Peckham Springs.
Peckham Springs.
Oh, God, we're old.
Oh, yes.
For those of us non-British people listening at a later date, please Google Peckham Springs. You will be delighted by early 90s British comedy.
It was a great episode.
Yeah.
The way that the water company was, we've got a massive leak somewhere, we don't know where it is, buy loads of bottled water. It worked out really well.
Yep. The only thing I can remember about those Only Fools and Horses is Brush of Theseus.
What?
Isn't that the Rodney Trotter? Not the Rodney Trotter.
It was Trigger. He had a
broom.
Yes, yeah. He had a brush, and it was the same brush that his Dad had the head had only been replaced 53 times, and the handle had only been replaced 48.
So the question is it the same brush or not?
I'm pretty sure I've had that conversation with microservices. Okay, that was a terrible lead-in joke. Sorry. And there we go. Am I not the only person who can't type and talk at the same time if I'm trying to actively have a conversation? I can type code and talk at people, but the moment I try typing real human words to real human people, I can't type and talk at the same time.
So you can only type in one language and speak in a different language, but you can't type and speak in the same language at the same time.
I'm pretty sure I can't speak English, so
Yeah.
as proved by the fact I failed my IELTS test. Yes, I failed an internationally acclaimed English test.
I'm pretty sure most English people would fail that, though.
I got informed afterwards by a friend. It's like, yes, most English people are speed skim readers, which means they do not comprehend anything they read.
No, we understand the words and the meaning. We don't understand the structure and the grammar.
To be fair, English doesn't really have that much in the way of grammar and barely holds on to structure.
Well, I guess formal English has a lot more of it than actual proper day-to-day English.
Okay, I believe this was added by Chris, and I'm not going to give it too long on the air just because. But body proves Bigfoot, no myth, hunters say. And this is a piece from CNN in 2008.
Yeah. They found a Bigfoot body. It was definitely Bigfoot. The fact that there has been series upon series upon series of people still looking for Bigfoot since and have never found it. But 2008, they found one, and it was definitely Bigfoot.
The horrible thing is that's still active on the flipping CNN website. Why?
Because once it's on the internet, it's always on the internet. We've already covered this topic.
Yes, but most places have that wonderful thing of like fact check. So even Fox News will publish a fact check statement on articles when they have been corrected and they can't get out of it for legal reasons.
But they don't need to correct it because they're saying someone else is saying it.
Yep.
Oh,
They're not claiming it to be true.
Is this like that mock the week allegedly sort of approach to things?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why you say allegedly before everything that's you need to. Because you're not then claiming it to be true. You're saying that other people are saying it's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's like saying allegedly Mike's a programmer.
Allegedly, Mike's funny. I mean,
Unfortunately, I am a developer evangelist. I am neither a good programmer nor funny.
we can drop the allegedly now. It's just it's confirmed.
Yeah, he's admitted it.
I have fact checked the statement. It is correct.
And that means we can now tweet it.
We have a recording on the internet of it, so...
Yep.
I'm just glad nobody's clipping this madness. Thank the gods.
Well, that's what you think.
Pardon? Oh, for God's sakes. Bah humbug.
That's what VODs are for. We just go back and get it after the fact.
I no longer record VODs because I have nearly got in trouble for some of the very, very, very inflammatory things I have said on Building with Beer. Because give me 4 beers and I say some very, very inappropriate things. If Canhorn is in chat, I am so sorry for the other day.
What happened the other day, Mike?
That is for the VOD to prove, which doesn't exist for reasons.
Oh.
Is this where we now ask everybody we know until we find out what happened?
Probably about 2/3 of people in chat were probably there.
I hate that's bloody accurate. Right, moving on. I'm gonna drag in a relatively cute topic just because I actually think it's adorable.
Somebody's clipped something, Mike.
Oh, and Sketch has clipped it, which means it's going to be wholly inappropriate or me saying the cursed word.
What's the curse word again?
That word.
What, pink hat?
I'm not saying it. Not on the podcast. Damn your eyes. Right. Have you seen that the Pokemon Company has produced an entire range of nearly like true to life as it can be Pokemon accessories for Samsung, official accessories, which includes like the use of like they've got the smartwatch, which is essentially a Poke Tracker now. They've turned it in so that your Z Flip will become a Pokedex, and you can carry around an actual functional because it contains your earbuds, Pokeball.
So, are you saying functional in that if I put my earbuds somewhere and I've lost them, I can throw this Pokeball and it finds them?
I bet, as you know, this, if I remember correctly, the Samsung Bud stuff does have the Find My Earbuds functionality. So, yes.
I feel more like it's accurate in the fact that you can throw this ball somewhere and say, go earbuds, and your earbuds will fly out.
Oh, that's priceless. Oh, that's priceless.
I like the fact that they've made the case of colour it in yourself.
Who needs injection molding when you can color your own casing? But yeah, no, I think it's actually quite cute that they've made a range of things which are actually appropriate to the usage of what they are, rather than just like, here is some keychain dangly things.
They've definitely invested some time in it. And it's,
Oh yeah. And
it kind of makes sense that they exist given the size of the following.
True. There's a DevRelCon in Yokohama next year that I am desperate to try and find a talk to give there so I could justify going back to Tokyo. And I would 100% go hunting around for crap like this in like a Pokemon Center or something. And yes, Pokemon Centers exist if you didn't know. And I love them.
Please
Steve?
tell me this is where you just pick up random hedgehogs, take them in and say, please heal it.
Please tell me you're not expected to take a hedgehog in a ball inside.
No, I'd take a hamster in a ball.
Please don't try and put your pets inside a ball.
Hang on, hamsters are meant to have balls.
Not that small and sealed.
Yes, Steve.
Mike.
Is it really worrying that the only thing I could think was that we'd need to electrocute the hamster first to make it Pikachu?
Oh, that's bloody priceless. Is this an electric Pokemon? No, but it will be in a minute.
Just don't try and put your fish inside the ball.
Oh,
I'd be more worried if it was the other way around.
Don't put your ball in the fish.
Please don't put your balls inside fish, Mike.
Why'd you have to name me at the end of that, you wee bugger?
Because you're the only one here who didn't think not to do it.
Touche. Oh, God. Chat's just recommending a new Channel Point Redemption, and no, I'm not. I still haven't made the Spyro costume into one. I'm not going to make that into a thing.
I now want to know what that redemption is.
I'll read it out to you. It's, can we put Mike in one of those human-sized hamster balls dressed up as Pikachu?
Yep. We can make this happen.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Okay, I will officially do it. I'll state this on the internet because I'm a man of my word when I say this. Well, I would have said that, but Sketch's hoodie is somewhere in fucking Heathrow. I'll chase that later, Sketch. Sorry. Well, when the Royal Mail is back in action. I will find a way of getting a costume and a Zorb, and I'll do it for charity.
Can we also involve a Fantagraph generator, please?
You would literally electrocute me. To be fair, should be glad you're not saying, can we have a full-size Tesla coil? But yeah, no, if I can find a way of doing it and do it for charity, I will do it. Because for the common good, I'll do stupid shit on the internet.
I think we can make that happen. I think it's going to be really easy.
Yep.
Well,
I
there
mean,
are
you
rumors
can-
of there being
can
a
install it.
claw-related conversation meetup thing that I have been strong-armed into possibly organising. I'll see if I can make it coincide with that, so there's proof and people to take pictures and make the proof that I'm an idiot.
I
We
mean,
don't need any help with that,
yeah.
though.
You act like we need proof.
No, but I believe, as we've said previously, the internet requires proof that is there forever.
So every one of these podcasts.
Pretty much.
Ouch! I always thought this podcast was fun. Now I'm starting to just feel hurt.
And we've got plenty of clips. So
Top line, all trolling of Mike is allowed. So
That is true.
that is in bold as well. So
Do you want to take a wild stab at how many clips have existed on my channel, Steve? Because of people like you.
273.
Not quite that bad.
Oh well, you've got some work to do. Then.
I'm not the one creating clips on myself. That's just entirely narcissistic, and I'm not that bad.
No, but you need to create the content to be clipped.
is it 69?
Oh, I would wish. I wish. I'm just going to get the table up because I actually have there is an actual database table of this stuff now.
Yep.
Which was down the other day, and I got lynched for it.
You did. Dr. D lynched you for it.
There are 138 unique clips of me.
How many of those are of you saying the cursed word?
There's at least 6 of them because at one point it became meta where somebody created a clip of the recording of the clip.
Did you say there were 138?
Yeah.
Please don't let anybody do any more because that's 69 twice.
Double nice. Oh, okay. Right, we've got one last topic in there, unless somebody else has got anything else, and then we can actually, have our Fridays off and go and enjoy Christmas. Because my last task for the day is going to be editing this, so I don't have to do it at Christmas Day.
Okay.
Anyone got a weird topic? Otherwise, I'm going to drag it in, and it's going to make me sad. But I also think that we should discuss it.
I think we need to discuss it.
Okay. FTX founder released to parents on $250 million bail. The man got bailed out by his parents for a $250 million, 270 million pounds for those of you in the great English currency. And that's the only thing that I believe has happened to him is his passport's been seized. That is all.
Mm-hmm.
He is a free man after crushing how many people? And creating one of the biggest financial scandals in the last decade?
Potentially of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think of all time, because then you'd have to talk to like the Bank of England and BlackRock and all that jazz and the credit crunch and blah 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 blah. Or the Great Depression. Literal people jumping out of windows. Ah!
But was the Great Depression caused by the actions of any one person?
True. It was. Yes. This is a single man. It wasn't even his company. It was his personal choice to do what he did with the finances of the business that have caused this. Because I can't remember. Does anybody remember what the total figure of the collapse of the firm was? I think it's in the article. Right, the article says the collapse of his firm, which was once valued for more than $30 billion. And I believe he had a shit ton of investment money. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Investors, wank shafty people can keep their money. But that's also, it was also based on the valuation of the actual capital it had from private individuals.
The bit that kind of worries me more than anything about this is his parents had 0.25 billion to bail him out with.
Yeah.
They don't need the money. They can go to a bonds person, and the bonds person pays the money with some collateral.
Yeah, but they still have to stake collateral for it.
Yeah,
even
but
if
we
you
don't know how
go,
much collateral they put up.
no, but even if we go down the route of collateral, they'd got $250 million in value that they could put against this. Even if they hadn't got it in cash. So unless they've staked their entire life on getting him out of jail, the likelihood is that they could have done something to have helped the people that he conned.
Oh, that's a terrible thought. Oh, his parents are both Stanford University professors. So they are highly educated people. And as with most people at universities, usually have questions of moral and ethics on a daily basis from little shit upstart children.
Mhm.
But is this ethically bad, Mr. Lawyer Doctor person?
Did anybody else lose out? Yes, it's bad. Wasn't that complicated to resolve that one?
Because this has happened in North America, and unfortunately, we three Brits don't have that much knowledge. Somebody from the US, Exy, thank you very much. Nobody will bond that much. Nobody will file a bond for $250 million. But still, they could have, like, if they had that money to save their son from jail that he rightfully deserves, they could have definitely helped out some of the little people that got screwed from high orbit.
Yeah, but this is America, where the rich people don't care about the non-rich people.
So a lot like the UK.
I was about to say, that seems very Rishi Sunak.
Mm.
Oh, we started politics.
It's even worse in the US. It's even worse.
Oh, yeah. They have a system built on litigation for it.
I mean, you got to remember the US, they've got more money than any other country at any other time in history, even accounting for inflation and such like. They also have the highest poverty rates.
The bit that confuses me with money across the world is every single country is in debt. Who the hell to?
Oh, huge private equity banks. Like
then
the
if
biggest
that money, if it's a private equity bank, then it's based in a country.
Yes.
Which means that it's money that is part of that country's economy.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be anything to owe. Because if everybody's in debt to everybody.
Hang on,
because it's not the government's money, therefore it's not the people's money. It's owned by a private firm.
And the private firm can claim that back. Remember the whole stuff with the international bank claiming back on the Russian debt that they own back in, I think it was July, when they were defaulting on their debts because they refused access to their dollars, but the debt was based in dollars because that's the standard currency of the IMF. The IMF is actually a private equity firm just funded and governed by a bunch of countries and their governments.
So it's funded by governments, which means that those governments are borrowing from themselves.
Yes. But it's also then operated as a because it's an international body, it's technically operated as a legal entity upon itself, which the countries do not have a control over.
Does that mean it's governed by the UN overall?
I don't believe so. Oh, and sketches thrown in China, and considering how many 7 Capitol building sites around me are up, I'm going to agree with that one. For those who don't know, 7 Capitol, sounding exceedingly British, is actually owned by a Chinese conglomerate. Not against anything from China, except a certain sneeze from Wuhan.
Well, it's bound to happen sooner or later when you got so many people in such a small area.
True. No, it's very true. To be fair, and I've said this before, not on the podcast, but in person to people. Every major government has been warning about a pandemic for at least 10 years. We just happened to be woefully unprepared for it because nobody thought it was going to
Well,
happen.
we were prepared for it, and then we defunded everything around it.
Were we prepared for it? I knew that we, like, at the
There was
point
a
it happened.
plan,
We were...
and there was a plan, and there was funding around it about 20 years ago. About
Really?
a massive
Yep.
pandemic could happen, so we put a plan in place. And then,
had-
probably about 5-6 years ago, we decided we don't need that plan.
We decided roughly then that we didn't need the plan. We let all of the PPE that we'd saved up expire.
Mhm.
So
Hang
we
on.
actually had a stockpile of stuff that would have saved the country, but they
I
defunded it.
know this.
Yes, they defunded it, and like 2 years later, along comes a
Mm.
global pandemic.
Hang on,
The
hang on, hang
one-
on. You said 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So during the Tory reign of terror.
Yes.
Yep.
It was the Labour government, I believe, who brought in the initial
Yep.
plan, and the Tories
La-
defunded it.
Labour bought it in, instituted all of the plans that kept us with enough to get us, I think it was 6 months initially, whilst we got everything rolling. And it was defunded by the Tories about 5-6 years ago. So by the time that the pandemic happened, 3 years later, all of the PPE that we had stockpiled was out of date.
Okay, I know there's a giant mic in front of my face, but there is a genuine look of shock and what the fuck? I know all you can see is the whites of my eyes bugging out a little bit, but Jesus, Mother of Mary.
Mhm.
Okay, and on that bombshell, I don't have any more topics. So unless somebody else has something slightly more fun to end this on,
Merry Christmas.
But is it Merry Christmas, or are we banned from that this week, according to the Daily Mail?
No. I'll allow CNN, but we are not referencing the bloody Daily Mail. The Daily
just
Mail
did.
is not allowed to be referenced.
It's a perfectly good example of how not to write journalism.
I don't even call it journalism. It's like a blog post that's fucking toilet paper waiting to happen. Right. On that bombshell, I'm going to call it an end. So, happy Christmas, Chris, Steve, and everybody in chat.
And to you, Mike.
Everybody enjoy your happy turkey / non-turkey / food eating, gift giving, non-religious enjoying period of pseudo-religiousicism.
Yeah. Have a merry time off work, everybody.
Thank you. Now, Chris, Steve, do you have any closing comments or things you want to point out or whatnot? Like, I believe our Chris has something he wants to talk about, mention at the end.
Yes, so Brum PHP is coming up again after the relaunch. That'll be the 19th of January. Keep your eyes on the Brum PHP channel, which is intuitively named Brum PHP.
For those of you, that is for the Birmingham Tech Slack, Brum Tech, just because of the little extra reference. So, yes, is there anything you would like to share with the world? Steve?
No, nothing from me at the moment. Thanks for having me and putting up with all my trolling of you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And we will. I'm going to send the stream over to Finite, because that's what we do in this thing. And we will see you all later. Thank you and bye-bye.